My name is Keith Toogood. I'm an ambassador for the Kingdom of God. We just happen to build homes, do outdoor living enhancements, run a ministry called Boom, Business Operating on Mission, and Bros Operating on Mission, and we also have Orange Theory Fitness in San Angelo, Texas. I've experienced a lot of times where I've been in the wilderness or in the desert and really struggled to know that the Lord was with me, and I think as humans we have this tendency to, we want to see it, we want to touch it, we want to feel it, all the things, and we want to have assurance and we want to know. And there's times where, as I've grown in my faith, that's one of the biggest things I've learned is to listen for His voice and to trust Him and to know that He does have a plan and He does have a purpose for our lives. And there's times where I'll be living in doubt or I'll be living in fear or whatever, and I just hear Him say, "Keith, I've got you. Keith, I've got you," and it brings some assurance. And there's times where I'm like, "Are you sure?" And He'll just point back and be like, "Look at your past." Part of my story is the Lord, almost 10 years ago, said to me, it was the first time I'd ever felt like I'd ever heard God's voice before. I was 29 years old, and He said, "Sell everything and follow me." And I knew exactly what it meant, and I told my wife, "I think I heard God. I'm not sure, but I think we need to sell the house," because we were struggling. We were in debt, we were not tithing, there was lots of things, we were just struggling. At the time, to be honest, I was what I would consider a quote-unquote great Christian man. That was at the same time simultaneously building my kingdom. But I didn't fully understand His kingdom and what He desired. So He said, "Sell everything and follow me." He placed the story of the rich young ruler in my mind, and I knew that story. I didn't want to be that guy. And so I called my wife and we agreed to sell the house, and we put it on the market. And long story short, the realtor had basically said, "Man, there's no chance that you're going to get this price. I don't think we're going to have any showings." First day rolls around, and we had an email notification that would tell us if a showing was happening, and it was like showing. I mean, they were just lining up. It was one of these incredible moments where I was like, "Oh, this is great." And some people could argue and they'd be like, "Well, it was a great neighborhood," or all these kind of things. But what happened next, I don't think anybody can argue with. He called me that afternoon and he said, "Keith, I've got an offer coming in. I don't have all the details, but I'll call you." And I was like, "Man, come on." And later that afternoon, he called me. He's like, "Keith, you're not going to believe this." He goes, "But not only do they want to buy the house, they want to buy everything that's in it." And I thought, sell everything and follow me. And it was the first people to walk through that house, and they wanted to buy it all. And I think it was two things. I think it was number one, I think the Lord was like, "You just heard my voice. Now listen for me and follow me." And then number two, I think He was asking me a question. Are you who you say you are? Because I would go around preaching all the time. None of this stuff matters. None of it's going with us. All these kind of things. And so I've allowed His voice to guide me in everything. And there's been times where He's told me yes, and there's been times where He's told me no. Sometimes faith is stepping out, not knowing what's going to happen. You hear those kind of things and step out in faith and all that kind of stuff, but I truly do believe that it boils down to obedience. The Lord's presence in my life has been evident throughout. There's times where I feel like, man, we never should have made it. We never should have survived in this environment, or even coming out of COVID, some of the struggles that we face. And being a home builder, man, the last 18 months has been extremely challenging. What I do a lot of times is I look and I think, okay, all these things are going on, yet there's this blessing upon our business and we're growing. And for me, that's just confirmation that the Lord is right there fighting for us. He's ushering in His presence everywhere we go, and having that faith that, like, man, you are with me. You tell me that you're with me, but there's evidence that's being shown all throughout over the last almost 8 years of building that you're absolutely with me.